Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another tournament. The Tournament of Fathers. I am joined by the usual suspects, Gigawatt and the Calibri Body.
I'm a Kiln. Where did the kid? Where is
Yeah,
the
where
kid?
Caleb go?
Um, yeah,
Okay, good
He's
enough.
not. He's not dead.
Alright.
I'm not.
I don't know why I'm laughing. Shall we? So this is a Tournament of Fathers. It's not based off of power, strength. I don't know how to describe how we're really going to judge who is considered a better father in terms of things.
Their feats in the series
Their,
based on how good of a father they were.
their feet.
His
There's a certain-
feet.
Caleb, stop with your foot fetish, Caleb. Jeez. Fine. I'll just get into it. Alright. Today, we are now in the first bout of this grand tournament. In the red corner.
It's red.
I'm just calling it the red corner and the blue corner because that's what they do in boxing, don't they, or some shit? No. In the red corner, we have a man with 2 sons and sometimes a daughter under his belt. A man who is the epitome of normal. Especially in terms of this people in this bracket. It is the one, the only, Saiki Kunoharu.
Oh, bro. Sometimes it's alright. Yeah. What's he doing here?
He's a father, isn't he?
Yeah.
And in the blue corner, we have a man who has divorced his wife with 1 daughter under his belt. He is quite literally a giant pervert and also a living weapon. Spirit Alban.
Ah. Wow, this is actually rather difficult because one of them's a literal shoe licker and one of them's a simp. So no, Psyche literally his professional job is to lick shoes. The fuck?
But you gotta respect him though.
You gotta respect the grind.
You gotta respect the grind. But you also gotta respect him as a dad, at least.
No, his children are self-made. His mother did all the work, and then they ended up fucking helping themselves.
Yeah, but at least he's always there for his kids. And don't get me wrong, Spirit's always there as well. It's just more... He does care.
Yeah, he's always there in a
he,
fucking hostess. He's a
yeah,
fucking
and
hostess.
sometimes he does offer him like really good advice, like when all of Psyche's quote unquote friends came over to his birthday, and his dad actually gave Psyche some good advice, even though Psyche's clearly far above anything that Kuniharu would be able to do. And when it comes to Spirit, I mean, the reason why that Marker's parents got divorced is because he was unfaithful. So you can say what you want about that, but at least he's always still there for her. Although, for her birthday, he also did get her lingerie, so I don't know what he was thinking.
Yeah, that's a bit sus.
So,
That's a bit too sus. I'm not voting. Honestly, I love Alban. He's great. Actually, he's fun. No.
Yeah. Obviously, Caleb doesn't know who to vote for. He's only seen little bits of both of these series. Man, Caleb's just dead today.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I don't know what I can say. So I just, you
Yeah.
know.
I like them both, but guess who's not making it to the second round? But I vote Kusa. Oh no, Kusa. Saki.
Yeah, I'm going Kuniharu as well. So that doesn't matter, he's just moved on. Alright. Good to know. Oops. Place him there. Poor Spirit. Alright. Now, in the red corner.
Already in the
If we
red
get-
corner.
If we already
Yeah, but
got
this is
fucking
the
Goku
second
and
bout.
Golden King freaks, I swear to God.
Okay, fair enough.
Huh? What did you say, Alex?
If we get Goku and King freaks, I swear to God, because Let's get some good father deeds.
In the red corner, we have the man with 2 sons and 1 grandchild under his belt. The man of the Kamehameha.
You're joking.
I'm not. Goku. This was completely randomized.
It better not be being said.
In the blue corner, a man with 1 son, the most absentee father who tries to run away from his child.
You're not actually serious. Why do we have the shit fathers all in the top left?
I don't know.
What are they doing here?
I mean, there's other little bit shit ones.
It's like you might actually make it through.
See, as much as I respect Ging, at the very least, Goku was there sometimes.
Sometimes. Only sometimes.
He was there sometimes.
Yeah, but
He was there at the beginning, and then he died. That wasn't really his fault. And then he didn't come back, so that was his fault.
That was a bit.
That was his
that was
fault.
a bit of a-
But he did eventually come back to see Goten.
it wasn't even to see
No.
Goten. It was to go.
No,
It was
yeah, no,
to fight in a
that's true,
tournament.
that's true.
He
But
didn't even
he
give a
still
shit
saw him.
enough.
He still saw him at the very. Okay,
Yeah, as I might as well.
at the very least, he didn't say I never want to see Goten. Ging just said, "No, I don't want to see you."
But at the same
But-
time, I can also kind of respect what Gain might have been thinking. That he might have not been ready to be a father. He left his son with family, and if his son really wanted to know him, he left that option for him. And to make him strong, he opened that path for Gon to become strong. Of course, he's not the best father in terms of being there for his son, but I'm just saying what he left for his son is quite large. He gave his son options. Whereas Goku just kind of did his shit.
I'm voting Goku anyway.
Trained. He did.
For
train
Devil's
Gohan.
Advocate, I'm voting
Gohan.
Ging.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
I'm voting
And he
Ging.
believes
Yeah.
I agree with
in
you.
Gohan.
And
Like,
even when
with that.
Gon eventually does find his dad actually is there for him now. And he does train Gon.
Yeah.
Yeah. But of course, it's just those early 12 years. Not the best.
Those are the vital 12 years. And Goku was there for most of Gohan. So,
But not Goten's.
no, Goten's a bit of a. He was dead, okay?
He wasn't
Wasn't
even there
his
for
fault.
all of his fucking...
Don't worry, he let Goten drive the truck. That's all.
So,
It's just Goku moves on, okay. Poor Ging, that was really,
They're not going to survive long though.
I
I
love,
don't think.
I love that
I
there
don't
was
even know who
the-
this other person is, but I bet he's a better dad than both of them.
You might have to be. I might have to vote. The fact that these two characters are going in a tournament and Goku's about to lose to it might be the funniest thing I've ever seen.
Alright, boys, hold your pants. I'm gonna say that right now. Hold your pants.
Okay.
In the red corner of round 3, we have a man with an unknown amount of children under his belt and only one potential biological son. It is the one, the only, Edward Newgate.
Okay. Okay. I wonder who's going to get their asses clapped. in the blue corner.
Wonder who I'm not voting for.
The funny you say that, because both of you know this man. It is a man with one son, one daughter, and one grandchild under his belt. He is a man, he is a smart man, although not smart enough, because he is a detective who couldn't figure out his son was actually Kira. Shoichiro Yagami.
Sweet Shuriagami.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's just okay. Before we jerk off Whitebeard, let's just
No.
say that Soichiro Yagami is still a fantastic father.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
He able to go to any, like, not only for the world and for this case, but also to protect his children. He's doing this for them. He's trying his absolute hardest to make sure that his children live in a better world, a world without Kira in it. Right?
Yeah.
Soichiro Yagami, fantastic father. Can we move Whitebeard up, please?
I mean, yeah. I do want to say, like, why we chose Whitebeard for this tournament as well, because I feel like
What a big cock.
there are also a lot of other great fathers within One Piece. Kiros, for an example, and I can even respect Monkey D. Dragon, although he's not there for
I
Luffy.
cannot.
He's the world's most wanted criminal. Why would he want his son to be in his life? It
It's
would
not
make
gonna
more
get him
sense
very
to
far in the
leave it with
tournament.
his grandfather, so that it can be raised at least and choose what it wants to be. And even when,
And then what his grandfather did, it's like, come on, folks.
yeah, but
Should
still,
put down in here.
yeah. Yes. So that's that. That's just that.
This tournament doesn't have to be about biological fathers. by any
Yeah,
stretch.
obviously. Alright. We're up to the next bout. Okay, yes.
We'll talk about Whitebeard when
This is going to be an interesting one because I'm the only one who have seen these two series. So I guess you're going to have to go by my blind faith, and it doesn't really matter because they're fighting Whitebeard next. In the red corner, a man with one daughter under his belt. A superhero with the moniker of a tiger. Kotetsu Kaburagi. And in the blue corner, from a series called Fate, a big man with a gun, with one son and one daughter under his belt, Kiritsugu Emir. So I'm the only one who knows the series. And,
Yeah, I have no idea the fuck these are.
and what I will say, at least, is doesn't really matter who's going to fight first. This is just more my opinion. I do think that Kotetsu is a better father, simply for the fact that he does everything for his daughter, and he works hard and he does the grind. As he was, like, at the beginning of the series, he's pronounced as like one of the shittest heroes, and in this world, like, all the heroes are kind of like they're essentially super cops that are also endorsed by different companies. Like, there's one girl who's endorsed by fucking Pepsi. She's my favorite though. But at the same time, this is also me thinking to myself, alright, it's a Chad versus someone who I would pronounce as Alex's favorite character if he ever saw the series. So does it really matter who goes up?
Well, yeah, it's who you think is better. It's a tournament. If just because
Yeah.
there's someone,
Well, for
just
me,
because
I do
just
think
because Mr. Satan's always going to win the tournament, you can at least get second place.
I do think this man will go up higher, you know. Just in terms of being a better dad within this series. Alright. Ooh, the next bout. Going to be interesting. Alright. In the red corner, he has zoomed into the field with one son and two grandchildren under his belt. A man so quick he was named as the yellow flash of the leaf, Minato Namikaze.
What to beat, I think.
Alright. And in
I
the blue...
like how when it comes to like, Goku and Ging, we like Goku because he didn't have a choice in the matter. He died, as if he would have been there for his child much anyway. So that's why we got Ging out. But here, Minato doesn't even get like a day. He's dead, and I'm already saying, yeah, he's gonna get pretty far. Well, it depends on who's up against, I guess.
Yeah. And in the blue corner, a man with one son, two daughters, and one grandchild under his belt. It is quite ironic that he is the 10th competitor in this belt, as the former 10th captain of the Gotei 13, Ishin Kurosaki.
Damn it.
You were saying, Alex?
I expect Minato to get far, but there is no way my vote does not go to Ishin Kurosaki.
The only shonen dad who was actually there. I even did the photo thing at the mother's grave.
Yeah.
We gotta give Minato some love though.
Yeah, I just that's enough love though. Okay, no, we should talk about
Yeah.
Minato before we read him out. Legendary man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hokage for like 6 months, but you know what? That's fine.
I kind of feel like out of all these fathers, he kind of feels a lot normal, and I can also kind of feel like at any point, if I had a child, or I ever like found out I had a child or whatever, or my partner was pregnant, I should say. Um, I feel like I would act a lot like Minato in that situation, with just like the flustered expression of excitement on him. I kind of like that he was looking forward to actually being a dad, and literally everything that Naruto couldn't get from his parents, at least Minato had left him things, and even just left him crap, like take Jiraiya's influence and whatnot, the things that his parents said to him at their death, and even though it is sad and he didn't have a choice in the matter, he did ultimately did get a day with his son, and even put himself inside the fucking the seal of the eight, whatever, the 8 trigram seal. Yeah.
And then he also gave Kushina
Yeah.
the same opportunity.
But because Kushina's chakra was more prominent and stronger, she actually got to take a greater physical form.
Yeah.
That's why Minato, and
Yeah.
that's why it was cool to see Minato come back at least to just spend a day with his father, and even see the damage that him being slow kind of caused, like him not realizing that the masked man was Obito.
Well,
But then,
spoiler
but then, but then you have someone like Ishin, who was always there from the beginning. He tells his son that it was never his fault that his mother died. He's always there. He's always rooting for his child. Anytime that he's needed, he's always there. He takes care of his family when they're hurt or ill. He looks after them in every way that he possibly can. He's a very humanistic character, despite not being originally human, but given a human body. And I think he's just one of the more grounded fathers, because even when his son needs to talk to him, he will be there, and they can get each other out, and they kind of understand each other, like the unspoken bond that I feel like normal parents and children should have, especially if they're like young adults. Like, you don't need to say some shit to them, but he'll always be there. And I'm just honestly reminded right now of when he said to Karin, "Come give Daddy a hug," and he opened his shirt. But
the
yeah,
boy.
honestly, this could have gone either way. I have no doubt, like, if Minato was in literal, like, if Minato was in like those first group, he would probably get the furthest out of all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Unfortunately,
sadly,
unfortunately, you put him next to fucking Ishin Kurosaki.
the randomizer did it. We're talking about.
Oh yeah.
It is what? It's very weird. Alright. Now this one's interesting. Now this is going to be an interesting fight, because I really don't know what any of you two are going to say. Caleb's only really seen brief stints of these two people, but I shall go about it. Alright. In the red corner, a man with one son and a bunch of unidentified children under his belt. We have the one, the only spacewalker himself, Byakuya Ishigami, versus a man. And in the blue corner, we have Joichiro Saida. Oops.
Okay.
Yeah, so just Joichiro.
Fuck.
The man with two sons under his belt. The chef himself. Ooh. This is just a hard battle in my opinion. I think I know who I'm voting for.
Who's the other one? Who?
Oh, Food Wars. Soma's dead. The main character's dead.
Oh, that's right.
The one who beats the shit out of him in their 500 Food Wars.
Joichiro is really cool, but after what the amount of faith and exactly what he left behind for Senku, I do want to think I'm going to go for Byakuya.
But at
By
the,
no means to say
I'm
that Soichiro was not fantastic
I
in
mean
his own right.
this is kind of almost a little bit like a weirder one because at the same time, although Byakuya put a lot of faith in his child and gave his child everything that like helped him build himself up, at the same time, Joichiro did the same. He was always there for Soma. He gave him everything. He gave him the opportunities. Just through his connections alone, no way would Soma have probably gotten into um, Totsuki Academy alone. And I do like the fact that he understands his child on a deeper level more than I've seen a lot of other fathers in these lists. Like he understands kind of the struggle that Soma goes through. They have that unspoken bond that when they're cooking together, they don't need to talk. They know exactly what each other are thinking. They know how to respond to each other. That they can kind of communicate without talking. And they're both dumbasses together, and I love seeing the fatherly bond between the two, as the man who's praised as such a strong, dominant man who was given such like great praise by lots and tons of people as a legendary figure in terms of this series, and the way he talks about his son, because even he knows his son's not like him. He knows his son is more the person who works hard for everything he gets, and he loves that about his son. And I even just love the fact that he himself never purposely lost to his son to kind of build up that kind of strength and willingness to get on with it and move forward. And honestly, Joichiro would probably be happy even if his son wasn't a chef. It's that kind of thing where it's like, he was a giant, like it's part of the reason why I think he's a good dad as well, is because he himself is the role model for Soma compared to Byakuya, who didn't really seem as big of a role model for Senku, I should say. Yeah. My vote's going for Joichiro.
Yeah, I'm super on Byakuya, even after watching both of them.
Still I'm voting for Byakuya.
You're both cunts.
You're welcome.
I mean, in all fairness, I have seen significantly more of Dr. Stone than I have Brood Wars.
Yeah. I'm calling Alex more of a cunt.
Why?
Because Joichiro is a better dad, and you know.
Arguable.
Oh, this one's gonna be fun, especially for Alex.
Well, you know who I'm voting, so.
In this next one, I don't think I do. Right, in the red corner, we have a man from the land of the north. The great man with one son, one daughter, one grandchild under his belt. We have the mighty Thor's Snorson.
Oh, Snarson, yeah.
And in the blue corner, we have a great man. A man with one son, one daughter, one grandchild, and one great-great-grandchild. A man of such might that he did so much in his lifetime. Actually, no, he has two granddaughters, and two daughters, fuck. It is the one, the only, Joseph Joestar.
That was a father.
Yeah.
That's not a very difficult one.
What do you mean? I mean, for his anytime his daughter needed him, he was always there. He's very loving. He's very caring. Of course, he made some mistakes, like any normal human would do. Not his mistakes specifically.
What about his son? Is he there for his son?
Did he know his son existed?
He made the actions to make sure his son existed in the first place.
Yeah.
That's not very nice.
He also adopted the daughter that he didn't have any real obligation to. He took care of that, even in his decrepit old age. He took care of that girl.
So?
And he was also there for Josuke. Not Jotaro, sorry.
Yeah, well, he was,
Yeah,
but he's also an idiot.
and that's why I love him.
Yeah, that's why we love him, but that's not why he's a good father.
No, but I do like to see how he does talk to his, like, even just his grandchild. It's not like he's speaking to him in a stupid manner or whatnot. And then I completely understand how Holly grew up when we meet Holly Joestar. Her stupid little quirks, and then you meet her actual parents. It's like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. I don't know. It's an interesting one where I feel like this one could really go either way.
I don't think so.
I do think so. It depends on how you view it, because it's like, although, like, of course you have that whole situation with his son, it's not like he was ultimately a horrible father.
No,
And he wasn't there, or he didn't offer good advice to the people in his family, or whatever.
no, not a horrible father, but this other guy there.
This other guy.
Doors.
I don't know, man.
He died to make sure his son had a bright future. His son was the idiot. Even then, the things that he taught him to understand understand that he has no enemies in this world, understand the idea that he's in control of his life and he needs to take it, he has to take it into his own hands, and understand that he does that he won't that Tools will always be there for him, even especially with what happened, and that's teaching still being ingrained into his son's mind years, decades even later, that shapes who he is today. They can't not do Thor's.
I want to play devil's advocate, so I'm voting Joseph.
The that means I'm the tiebreaker.
Yep.
But he doesn't see
And
him.
I
He's like,
literally,
what?
Yep.
I literally have
Devil's
no.
advocate does not mean choose the other side. It means I can understand and defend the other side.
I can. And I did.
It doesn't mean
I tried
it's not-
my hardest.
So, uh, the Thor one.
Yay.
The... nah,
I dead ass couldn't remember who voted for who, so I just did Thor. Nordic, or not?
Alright. We're looking at the final bout of the first round. In the red corner, a man, a soldier in his own might, a person with one daughter under his belt.
I vote for him.
Alex sure loves him. May
I vote for him.
choose. And as for the final combatant on this tournament, it is the only person on this tournament who has a profession that is a father with 2 sons under his belt, Shiro Fujimoto.
Yeah, no, but it's Macy's win, isn't he?
Okay, you can talk.
I mean, I can talk.
Yeah.
But I can't talk about the other guy, so I'm gonna vote for Shiro anyway.
Yeah, but at least explain why. You haven't said shit.
But I don't know. I mean, he's cool. I can't really explain why I like him more.
Well,
I
in
can
this
just
case,
explain-
it's different because you don't know the other person. But still.
Yeah, it's like I can say, yeah, he did this, he did that. You know, taking in the fucking son of Satan while being a fucking priest and being an absolute mad cunt, and his weakness, his moment of doubting, his ability to be a father. That is what like sort of caused him to fucking die. But then that's all I can really wank him off, being a father figure that he did care quite a bit about Rin.
Well, the thing is,
And
I have become the tiebreaker.
Oh, I'm gonna talk about Macy's for a bit, aren't I?
Yeah, go for it.
No, I'm no fan of Full Metal Alchemist. But I am a fan of this man, being one of my favorite characters, straight up just ever, despite not giving a fuck about this series. this man, I don't really know how to say it into words that can make you understand without actually seeing it, but he gives so much of a fucking shit about his child. Everything changed for him once he had his daughter. That became his entire world. Fighting in this fucking war, fighting the army, no. He needed to be there for her. And not only for her, but for those around him. Suddenly the amount of compassion, the amount you would give for not the people around him, but especially his wife and his child is just astronomical. And that amount of care that he shows is the reason why he's so high for me in any list of characters, is just that compassion, that fatherly care that he has for his child. It's just unparalleled for me. That's why I love him so much. It's not even really in feats per se. He did not take in son of Satan as a priest. He's just a dude, isn't he?
Here's the thing. I'm going to vote for Shiro for my own reasons. And the main reasons behind that is the same thing you said about Thor's. Is everything that he taught and died for and protected has been ingrained in his own children. They're not his biological children, keep in mind. Those two sons who were raised by this exorcist priest who is just an absolute mad lad.
He's a mad lad.
Yeah. A lot of what he does for his kids and everything I've seen him do, especially for and after his own demise, even if he died, he imparted people to help his children along the way. Even when he's gone, even when he's struggling, even when his own kids are struggling, I can see that he put a lot of care into giving his children so many more options than what anyone else does. Is he as compassionate as Mace Hughes is? Probably not. But I can just say that I do think, as a father, he has impacted his kids more. Obviously, it's harder to say how much Maze has impacted his own children.
Yeah, they kind of fact they're fucking six and we haven't seen how they do in the future.
It's more because I've seen the impact of Shiro Fujimoto's legacy and what he's left behind is kind of why I have to vote for him.
Oh, that's fair.
Yeah. So
fuck you.
I just need to explain that. Also, he's a father. He's a priest. He actually is a father. It's his profession. It would be a shame if he lost.
He's a father, true. Yeah, that's
Alright. We've moved on to Saiki Kunoharu versus Son Goku.
Would Goku lick shoes for his children?
No.
Saiki.
I love the fact that he has two children who are completely weird as fuck, and he doesn't question shit.
No, Saiki's children would clap Goku's children. Fight me.
Are you voting for Goku, Caleb?
No, I'm voting for the other one.
Okay, that doesn't matter then. Licking shoes man beats.
There's, sometimes okay. You know how, cause I have the rule where I won't vote for the person I don't know. But in some cases, the character I do know is just such a dumb fuck that I just have to not vote for. I can't vote for them in good faith. I just can't.
I love, out of all people, this is the man to beat Goku. Goku could be on countless of our tournaments, and this will be his first loss. Alright. Next we have Edward Newgate facing Kotsu Kabuagi. And it's very clear who we're all voting for, so I'll just move them up. Wow. Nothing really to say there. Just sorry man. Just
we'll joke them up in a minute, don't worry.
Alright. Alright. Ishin Kurosaki versus Byakuya Ishigami.
One of them was there for his children.
Mm-hmm.
I want to. I was about to vote Ishin, but I need to give a bit more credit to Byakuya. Won't be enough, but I should give more credit to Byakuya anyway.
Now I'm still salty. Joichiro should have won.
Now, see, whilst it wasn't his fault that he, wasn't there, he wasn't there. Physically.
I do have to question one thing. If it wasn't Ishin who was fighting, but it was Minato, who would you vote for?
Well, that's actually an interesting argument because they are a similar kind of
Yeah.
character. One that prepared their child for the greatest of greats, for the highest of feats, well in advance, well after their deaths. One well after their death.
Mm.
I wouldn't even know. That might have been better.
I feel as if Byakuya, what he does for Senku is a bit more selfless. However,
Yeah.
I feel as if Minato, him leaving Kurama,
Believing in his own child.
he more did it. He more wanted Naruto to do that rather than doing it for Naruto's own sake, if that makes sense. I don't think he did it for Naruto's sake. Well, he didn't. He did it more so Naruto could protect the village, but not so that Naruto could be better off himself. And
it's like what the third Hokage says, is that Naruto is a true hero from the first day of his birth because he took in the Nine Tails.
Yeah.
That choice was forced upon him, and even Naruto questions why his father does it. And with one of my favorite scenes when Naruto punches his dad in the stomach.
Yeah.
And he questions it. It is just simple as that. He believed in his son. He believed that his son could do it in a way that he couldn't because he was obviously dead. But even still, like, those are two people who are having beliefs in, and they believe in their children. But then
the children can and will achieve. Like, it's not like he might be able to do some of this. He will. Byakuya never gives up on the idea that it's no one else but Senku will wake up, and it was also Taiku, but no one else but Senku will wake up and accomplish what needs to be done to bring the world to whatever the world will be. So I'm not ready yet.
But obviously this is Ishin versus Byakuya.
Yes.
Yeah. So anyway, Ishin is my boy. This just makes me feel like I should just like Byakuya more than I do.
In the case for like Ishin,
I want to say Ishin like a fucking fanboy, but I need to think about it.
When it comes to Ishin, you have to give him that he gave up everything for his family. He gave up
everything for a girl.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was a girl he didn't even know, and if it meant he could save their life, who was his enemy, I should say, or an enemy race, considered to him as a noble clan or whatever that he's a part of, that fucking shit. Everything that he had given up for, his friends, his family, the life he left behind, I've no doubt he had siblings or whatever. Everything he left behind to save someone who is considered his enemy, just to protect their own life. And of course their life was bonded from that point onwards, and he did everything to move on. And in any times of Ichigo's greatest crises moments, the way he feels and the way he feels like a destroyer of worlds or whatever, it's like even just questioning himself and questioning Ishin, why doesn't he blame him for the mother's death? And just Ishin's response to that, I think, is just so strong. And even when Ichigo finally does come to his father, or he finally understands that who his father is an absolute Chad lad. It's also the fact that everything he put into his life was there to kind of protect his own family and kind of make sure that they were healthy. Helping Ichigo grow up strong. His daughters even grow up strong. The fucking soccer player. Treating them and being there with them throughout everything that they do. And just nice.
All four of these people in the top right all have that unique quality of like they don't think their child will achieve greatness. They know they will. They put all their faith into that, and the relationship all of them, pardon me, sorry, have with their child.
Yeah.
The mutual understanding and respect is just astronomical. It's fantastic. Which makes it difficult to meet the vote.
Well, I am voting for Ishin.
I mean, is it
That's
really
just a given.
difficult?
No. Ishin. It just makes me feel bad for the other guy.
No. Now we have Thor's Snorsen versus Shiro Fujimoto.
Boy.
Will Alex's boy lose again to Shiro Fujimoto?
Oh my God. No, I swear to God, if Shiro Fujimoto beats all three of my boys on the right fucking side, I swear to God.
Well, I have to stay. Yeah, Thor's.
Yay!
Nah, this one was less of a question for me, I think.
So you think Thor's is better than Maze Hughes as a father?
Yeah.
Fucking interesting. Very interesting.
Even though his son is the absolute epitome of dumb shit, especially in his early stages.
When he's a 5-year-old, yeah.
No, even
actually,
past that,
no, yeah,
even
for the
past
next 10 years, yeah.
Yeah, for the next 10 years, everything that his son tries to do, he doesn't listen to
It
what
wasn't until the
Yeah.
end of that second phenomenal arc that he actually was able to grow from his father's advice.
And even because of Thor's, that kind of enticed me to move forward with who my favorite Vinland Saga character is, who has similar qualities to Thor, and it's even mentioned in the series, and that's obviously Canute. But in this case, I think this is a greater case of I've practically seen the same amount for Fujimoto and Mace Hughes in terms of them being a father, but I've seen more of Thor's being a father, and I can respect him and everything that he fought for, everything. And this was a greater case where instead of his child being the specialty, like with Fujimoto, he himself was the specialty who needed to protect his weakling dumbass son. Because obviously Thor's in the series is praised as a great fighter and warrior. But yes.
Not a great, he's the greatest.
Yeah. You even hear legends of his story beyond his death. Granted, that has happened with Fujimoto as well, but not on the same level. Very different.
Of course, Halo was voting Shiro, but unfortunately.
But that doesn't,
Next. Saiki Kunaharu versus Edward Newgate. I mean, God, the two people on this list, may I say, can I just say, the two people on this list who aren't biological fathers took in the child of their worst enemy. Wow, that's amazing. Shiro and Newgate did the same.
Mostly Shiro couldn't make it.
Point.
Well, the thing with Whitebeard is the fact that his treasure really was his family. The family that he built. He didn't care about treasure all too much.
So we're joking of Whitebeard now, fantastic.
Yeah, we're joking of Whitebeard now. He didn't care about status, really. He became literally his epithet, the strongest man in the world, just to protect his family and everyone he cares for in the world. And it's just amazing to even see the respect and the level that all his crew kind of view him as they all call him Pops because they all view him as the father figure, minus a couple because they're not considered children, they're considered brothers. But I'm not talking about that right now. Alex knows what's up.
Yeah.
But in terms of Whitebeard himself, I think one of the strongest moments with him especially is when one of his sons stabs him in anger, and all he does is forgive him and hugs him close.
Actually, yeah.
My stupid fool.
He does a lot.
He does a
A
lot.
lot of good.
I
But
think
also,
that's
one
of
of
the
his
most
sons
difficult
dying and saying, "All right, every other one of my children, let's go die helping him." Bit odd. Sure. Aside from that,
But at the same time, they're all a family, and they all want to
yeah,
protect each other.
they all would do.
That's why it's not like he's gonna rock up by himself just to destroy everything. There were three admirals there. You could never imagine just Marco rocking up just to save his brother. Like,
Yeah, I don't think you know.
I
I don't
assume
think
it's,
it's much of a debate.
this is not a much. This is not a debate now. I assume we're gonna jerk
No.
off him more in the final round. Bye, Kunoharu. You beat Goku. Now that's the real victory now.
Is it though? I mean, is that really a victory?
Well, people ask who can beat Goku in a fight. We have our answer.
Whoa. I mean, sure.
It's true. It's true.
It's true. Yeah, it is.
Alright, Ishin Kurosaki versus Thors. The battle of Alex's favourite characters.
I hate this.
I don't. Doesn't bother me.
Yes, Alex?
Shut up.
Yeah.
In Vinland Saga.
Yeah.
Thorfinn's growth as a person is credited more than just to Thor's. It's able to slide that he is the result of three fathers in total. Your Leafs, your Askelads, and your Thors. Ishin Ichigo didn't even and his siblings didn't even have a mother for most of their life. So Ishin really had to carry their raising several children as an untrained doctor for years. So I'm gonna vote Ishin.
He was a great doctor.
I didn't say he was a bad one. I just said he was untrained.
The ultimate Chad level of the doctor. Doesn't even matter who I vote for.
Who would you vote for there?
In that, Ishin.
There you go.
I mean, not to discredit Thor's, but...
Oh, no, at this rate, at this stage,
Yeah.
we're not discrediting anyone.
No. If you make it into the semi-finals, that just means you're fucking golden as a father figure. It's just, I don't know what it is about Ishin. I feel like there should be more moments with him, but there's also just partial moments where even in his most silliest moments, him just kind of bullying Ichigo, playing with him, pretending, and even just like when Rukia went up to his room and he just holding the cup to the door to listen in. Or the fact that he was always like secretly always had his son's back no matter what. And it's just kind of the smaller things of why I like him. Even with Ishin like going after Grand Fisher, it was never really about revenge for him. It was more about protecting Ichigo than anything else. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And even when Ichigo goes missing, Ishin understands what he's doing. He's building himself strong, and he doesn't question what Ichigo does, because at the end of the day, Ishin knows what his son's up to.
Another thing, I mean, this is more Ichigo than anything, but the scene when Ichigo finds out about his father, where he confronts his father, he sort of says, "You've probably got your reasons, so I'll ask you. You can tell me when you're ready." And I think that was sort of an interesting scene, because it also shows how Ichigo trusts his father
It
as well.
also shows him how mature his own son is
Yeah.
about this
Dude,
situation.
despite his parenting seem to be very silly, his the son his raised is able to be very understanding and aware of what the situation is happening, and able not to judge immediately what his father might be thinking, but able to
Mm.
yeah, that mutual understanding that Ishin is forward with his child is mint.
Even training him to learn one of his strongest techniques, although it kind of destroys him at the same time, but still. And at the end of the day, he was one of the two people behind the plot to get Ichigo's power back, to give him the thing that he missed the most.
Mm.
Even if, yeah. Alright. Even still, it's Whitebeard
Sorry,
versus
yeah,
Ishin.
but no Whitebeard though. Like,
Does Caleb want to go on the tangent about Whitebeard?
what do you, why Whitebeard?
He's got a big cock.
Hell yeah.
No, he's just, I don't know, he's just, um, again, from, like you mentioned before, when the guy stabbed him and he forgave him, and then even him fucking going a fucking ward to save Ace, it was, I don't know, I think his, his dedication to his children, even if they're not his actual children, but they all see him as that, and he sees them as that, and that relationship, that bond, and what he's willing to do just makes him a fucking legend. And I feel like he is almost like the father figure, because in my opinion, that's what a father should be. It
Yes.
should be someone who is there, who will always be there, and who could be counted on to be there, um, and to guide and to love unconditionally.
It's also one of the more interesting scenes that happens. Because even when his own son, someone he had raised since they were very young, Blackbeard, betrayed him, still part of him couldn't hurt him because it was his own son, and he still had that love for Marshall D. Teach.
Mm.
It hurt him physically and mentally to even just attempt to hurt his own son, of course, leading to his downfall. And at the end of the day, his own son was his own children was his destruction, which just adds to this kind of the moniker of a man, of a pirate even, who had so much love for the family that he made. And it's also one of just the biggest tropes within One Piece itself, is the fact that family comes in all shapes and sizes. It doesn't really matter if you're biological or not.
And Whitebeard's the
Ace,
epitome of that.
yeah, Whitebeard's the epitome of that. Like Ace just crying, only devoting one father, because it was him who changed the way Ace was thinking. Because Ace would have honestly probably died a lot earlier than what he did, because of the way he went about things. He was reckless. He fought Whitebeard for I think like 2 days, maybe. I don't know.
It's quite an extended period of
Well,
time.
extended period. But Whitebeard was just going easy on the fucker. He wasn't doing much. And even just seeing Whitebeard's rage when shit happens and when his own children get hurt, and I love that scene where he just bends Akainu's head into the ground with his power to fight with his kids. He is going the distances. He's going as far as he can to save everyone, creating a fucking tsunami. to create a battleground because he knew one of them would have stopped it.
And legend.
Yeah. And even at the end of the day, I think one of the biggest moments as well is obviously Caleb hasn't seen much of this, but characters in the future, people we know who have been with Whitebeard at some point in time, whether that being a small glimpse of Marco and the way he thinks and talks and even just remembers Pops, is such a big thing that it's like when someone says Pops to me now, I can only think of Whitebeard. It's not in my vocabulary really, but Pops is just such a Whitebeard name to me that it's like whenever I think of father, I can't really think of anyone else except my own dad, or even when I say dad or daddy or whatever I want to say, I can only really think of my own dad. But when it comes to certain names like Pops, which is an extension of that, it's hard not to think about Whitebeard. And even him just standing there with all the wounds he took on from everything, giving his life for his children. Yeah. Whitebeard's such a big, beautiful man. Yes.
As great as Ishin is,
Ishin's amazing too. Yeah.
is it in-
But no, it's him. It's the cock man.
It's the cock man. Oops. The big man.
Edward's new game.
Yeah, One Piece wins. I feel like we really could have had like a tournament of just One Piece dads.
Go for it.
Probably not. Maybe I'll do it someday. But I don't know.
Maybe.
Maybe when we put kind of we put Big Mom. Big Mom's a great dad.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. We're in good time as well.
Indeed.
Oh yeah, whatever.
Yeah, because like these tournaments usually take an hour long, so it's like just an interesting thing. So Whitebeard wins.
Generally, they generally are shorter.
Yeah.
Perhaps that's also partially because some of the choices are obvious.
Sometimes it's just hard to talk.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this is the last tournament of this year. I don't know what the next tournament's going to be, but next time, look out for a discussion podcast, which I don't know what the fuck we're gonna say.
What is next? Oh yeah.
Yeah, that. Also, our last. Also, I think we should all get ready for the last 3x3 of the year. Yeah.
I'm too prepared for it. It's a problem.
Yeah, I might take some of yours just to ease you. Thank you all.
By all means.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you all for listening. Go have a nice shit or whatever. Have fun. Bye bye.
I don't know that shit.